Leviticus 27. Keep your promises to the Lord. The Lord spoke to Moses. He said, "Speak to the people of Israel. Tell them, suppose someone makes a special promise to set a person apart to serve me. Here is how much it will cost to set that person free from the promise to serve. The cost for a male between the ages of 20 and 60 is 20 ounces of silver. It must be weighed out in keeping with the standard weights that are used in the sacred tent. The cost for a female the same age is 12 ounces of silver. The cost for a male between the ages of 5 and 20 is 8 ounces of silver. The cost for a female of the same age is 4 ounces of silver. The cost for a male between the ages of 1 month and 5 years is 2 ounces of silver. The cost for a female of the same age is 1 1/4 ounces of silver. The cost for a male who is 6 years older or more is 6 ounces of silver. The cost for a female of the same age is 4 ounces of silver. But suppose the one who makes a special promise is too poor to pay the required amount. Then he must bring to the priest the person who will be set free. The priest will decide the right value for that person. It will be based on how much the one who makes a promise can afford. Suppose what he promised is an animal that I will accept as an offering. Then the animal that is given to me becomes holy. The one who makes a promise must not trade it. He must not trade a good animal for a bad one, and he must not trade a bad animal for a good one. Suppose he chooses one animal instead of another. Then both animals become holy. Suppose the animal he promised is not clean. Suppose I will not accept it as an offering. Then the animal must be brought to the priest. He will decide whether it is good or bad. Its value will be what he decides it will be. Suppose the owner wants to buy the animal back, then he must add 1/5 to its cost. Suppose a man sets his house apart as something that is holy to me, then the priest will decide whether it is good or bad. Its value will remain what he decides it will be. Suppose a man sets his house apart, and suppose later he wants to buy it back, then he must add 1/5 to its value. The house will belong to him again. Suppose a man sets apart a piece of his family's land to me, then its value must be decided based on the number of seeds that are required to grow a full crop on it. That value will be 20 ounces of silver for every 6 bushels of barley seeds. Suppose he sets his field apart during the year of Jubilee, then the value that has been decided will not be changed. But suppose he sets his field apart after the year of Jubilee, then the priest will decide its value based on the number of years that are left until the next year of Jubilee. The value that was decided will be reduced. Suppose the man who sets his field apart wants to buy it back, then he must add 1/5 to its value. The field will belong to him again, but suppose he does not buy the field back. Instead, suppose he sells it to someone else, then he can never buy it back. When the field is set free in the year of Jubilee, it will become holy. It will be like a field that is set apart to me. It will become the property of the priests. Suppose a man sets apart to me a field he has bought, and suppose it is not part of his family's land. Then the priest will decide its value based on the number of years that are left until the year of Jubilee. The man must pay that value on the day it is decided. The money is holy, it is set apart for me. In the year of Jubilee, the field will go back to the person the man bought it from. That person is the one who had owned the land before. Every amount of money must be weighed out in keeping with the standard weights that are used in the sacred tent. But no one can set apart the first male animal that is born to its mother. That animal already belongs to me. It does not matter whether it is an ox or a sheep, it belongs to me. Suppose it is an animal that is not clean, then the owner may buy it back at the value that has been decided, and he must add 1/5 to its value. But suppose he does not buy it back, then it must be sold at the value that has been decided. But nothing a man owns and sets apart to me can be sold or bought back. It does not matter whether it is a person or an animal or family's land. Everything that is set apart to me is very holy to me. No one who is set apart in a special way to be destroyed can be bought back. He must be put to death. 1/10 of everything the land produces belongs to me. That includes grain from the soil and the fruit from the trees. It is holy. It is set apart for me. Suppose a man buys back some of his 1/10, then he must add 1/5 of the cost to it. The whole tenth of his herds and flocks will be holy. They will be set apart from me. That includes every 10th animal that his shepherd marks with his wooden staff. The owner must not pick out the good animals from the bad. He must not choose one animal instead of the other, but if he does, both animals will become holy. They can't be bought back. The Lord gave Moses all of these commands on Mount Sinai for the people of Israel.